short weeks away, and Run Pure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
What's up, everyone? We're back for another Underdog Best Ball show, and we got the man, the myth, the legend, Big T with us this week to break down his first ever best ball draft. Love to see it. Welcome to the show here, Big T. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think I put $100 in last year and got the bonus, which was like 25 or $30. And yeah, I still got that 130 sitting in the account, so I'm ready to get in there and whoop your guys' ass on my first draft. Maybe I'll go one draft and just ship it all. That'd be quite the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the live show too, like we could go back to the tape and be like, "This is the one draft he did."
Absolutely, I'd love to see it. We actually have a better promo code this year, though. If you use
Can
Run
it
Pure
work again for me?
Maybe if you use promo code RUMPURE, you'll get $100 deposit match this year. If you deposit $100, Underdog will match that, give you $100 right back with that promo code of RUNPURE. So go over, plug in our promo code, and start drafting with us. Definitely, we've got Simon with us again this week for this show. Simon, how are you doing this week?
Doing good, man. Finally got Tony on here. We've been harassing him for like a few weeks now to get on here with us, and we got him. So gonna pop his best ball cherry for the 2022 season. We'll see who's paying the rake on this one.
I mean, you guys come on with your underdog gear. Snyder's got the worst shirt I've ever seen in my life on. You guys both got the dad hats. I mean, free gear is strong.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely, you love to see it. So, I mean, this is your first show and everything, whatnot, Tony. So why don't you just give the guys kind of your thoughts on the upcoming season? Is there any teams that you think could make some runs? You have any overrated teams, or what's your thoughts as we near the NFL season this year?
Yeah, I really haven't looked at too much until the last couple of days because I knew I was going to do this show. And, yeah, I mean, once August gets here, I start looking a little bit more at the football, like a lot of people do, I'm sure, as baseball starts to get boring and golf winds down into the playoffs. And that's when I start diving into football. But I don't know. I don't have any, like, crazy takes. The AFC looks, obviously, like everyone says, way, way better. I mean, you look at the top quarterbacks, the top teams, all in the AFC for the most part. And, yeah, I mean, you got Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, all in the same division, which is just brutal because, I mean, they honestly could be 3 or 4 of the top, like, well, for sure, like 10 teams. So all in that same spot. And then you got other really good teams in the AFC too. Obviously, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, A lot of people are down on Cincinnati. I don't see why they wouldn't be good again. So I don't know. The AFC is going to be loaded, and in the NFC, I don't see much. I mean, just looking at like the fantasy guys, I mean, I don't see a ton in the NFC. So I'll be interested to go through the draft though and kind of see the flow of how everything's going with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely with you there on those AFC teams with that division with the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chiefs and the Chargers there. I mean, would it surprise you if the Chiefs finished fourth in that division, Big T, this year?
I think the Chiefs are like that could have been what I led with. I actually think they're like super underrated, if that even makes sense. Like everyone's down on them just because of Tyreek. Like in the NFL, all that matters is the damn quarterback, and they still got the best one. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're even better than they were before. With another year, they can play up that underdog role a little bit, even like some of these guys do, where, Tyreek was even chirping a little bit, I saw, where he's saying Tua's the most accurate he's ever played with and all the little narratives. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs are even better. But again, like you said, would I be stunned if they were fourth? No, because the other three teams are very good teams too. So, yeah, I mean, so how many wild cards? There's 2 wild cards, right? Or is there 3? Could all three of them technically come from there? 2?
I think three of the 4 teams could make it. I think you got Russell Wilson there in Denver. I think that team's going to be pretty powerful.
4 divisions though, and there's 7 teams in the playoffs, right? Isn't that 3 wild cards?
Yeah, I think that is maybe this year. Yeah. There's only 1 bye. Last year it was the first year there was only 1 bye.
So technically, could all 4 of those teams somehow get in? It's probably not possible.
I don't think all
other.
4. I think 3. Is the max for some reason.
Really?
I don't.
I mean, it doesn't matter because it's not going to happen anyways. I mean, they all play each other twice, but yeah, it'd be crazy if something like that happened.
Absolutely, I definitely could see 2 to 3 of those teams definitely make it there. Simon, do you have any thoughts? Do you have any? Has your takes changed as we get closer to the season? As your upcoming thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Chargers the best in that division, but I'm not like the bet that I made was for the Chargers to win the AFC as opposed to winning that specific division, just because like it's a crapshoot who can come out of that division on top. It's no point in really betting on the division as opposed to betting on someone from the division winning the AFC or the Super Bowl. And I'm with Tony on the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are underrated, and you can see that in these best ball drafts with Patrick Mahomes going in like the 5th round. I've never seen him go that cheap before in best ball, and I've been doing this since whatever the first year of draft was. So to get him in the 5th round like the way you're doing right now is just it feels like a steal. And the ambiguity in that wide receiver core is something that you can completely take advantage of with Juju and MVS and even Hardman is going like 120 or whatever. And recent reports have been that Hardman and Mahomes have had a pretty good connection in camp. So yeah, those receivers are all super cheap. Even Kelsey, you can get him in the 2nd round this year as opposed to previous years where you had to take them in the 1st. So all the weapons are cheap on the Chiefs, and it's easy team to stack this year. So yeah, Tony's right on with the underrated part, I think.
My issue with the Chargers is always just going to be that friggin' play calling. Like last year, I just get so tilted. They should be so much better than they are.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Herbert's the man, though, obviously.
Oh, yeah, Justin Herbert. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. I think so. Definitely has that upside.
Ahead of Josh Allen. He's number 1 on your board.
I think Justin Herbert is.
Snyder Bucks.
I like Justin Herbert. Long term, I like Justin Herbert going forward. I think he's the guy that's going to be there. There's a big difference
between like quarterback and fantasy too. Like,
yeah,
I would take Herbert for sure, quarterback wise.
Yeah, I'm talking like the win games. Yeah, quarterback.
Yeah. DFS wise, that running from Allen is tough.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the NFC, like you said, there's really not much there. Do you have? I mean, the Green Bay Packers and Tampa Bay are the top 2 teams,
and I hate
just above the Rams. I think the Packers are a great fade this year. I was going to gauge your opinion on that.
I hate the Packers and the Bucks. I think they're both What I'm going to post my best ball rankings on the site. I don't know if anybody even wants them, but some people ask me about it. So I'm going to post them and you'll see. I mean, I got Rodgers. I don't even know what the ADP is. I just was literally doing my own rankings, and I'm sure Rodgers is – I got him quarterback 12. I'm sure that's way, way lower than the field, and I got Brady even lower than that. So I'm very, very low on both of those teams. In the NFC, the only team I'm like high on is San Francisco. I think they're like loaded, and I don't see any other team that outside of like just dark horse teams that I don't know what. I mean, the NFC's wide open. I could name. I think you could see a totally random team come from the NFC, like anybody really. I mean, I'm trying to look through real quick, like for an example, but I don't know. Even like a team like the Giants or something. Like I wouldn't be totally stunned if they just popped up out of nowhere.
They've got some playmakers there with Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot now, and Kenny Galladay's there with Saquon. Saquon looks pretty good so far in camp.
Good in the old shorts, like they say. I don't know about when
I don't know
real games come, but he does look good. It reminds me of Zeke, though, when everyone always loves Zeke coming out of the summer where he's ripped and he's ready to go, and then when he start actually playing games, he sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I think my favorite team in the NFC coming into the year is going to be the 49ers. I'm really excited to watch Trey Lance. Brandon Ayuk's looking pretty strong. Simon, do you have any any conviction?
Likes the Niners with us. Simon always likes the
Niners. Yeah, Tony and I have been Niners fans for a while, especially Tony with the Kittle got you a couple big Showdown wins.
Grayson brought it home the other day, a little Kittle, whatever the heck this thing is.
Oh, yeah.
Good mojo. I don't even know what it is, but he brought it back for me.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
But, I think the Giants, too, are going to be sneaky. Or not sneaky. I guess there's a lot of people that are on them this year. But I like the coaching changes that have happened there. Snyder in the past shows that we've done, like last year, the biggest gripe that we had on the Giants was how much of a dumpster fire their coaching staff was. And for them to get that straightened out this year, they've done a good job with building like offensive weapons on that team, and now to have a competent coaching staff in charge of getting it going, I think the Giants could surprise this year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you guys, arm in arm. We can jump into some of this recent news now that we've had here going on recently. The biggest news, as far as I'm concerned, is the J.K. Dobbins news. He came off the PUP, all signs pointing towards him making a debut in Week 1. As a rookie, he led the NFL in yards per carry, 6.0 yards per carry as a rookie. Had 134 carries for 805 yards and 9 touchdowns, which backed up his 2,000-yard performance as a senior at Ohio State. Definitely high on Dobbins. I put some messages in our Discord channel saying all in Dobbins 6th round a few days ago, and then he comes off the PUP like I thought, and he's starting to go a lot earlier now. I'm seeing him go in like the 4th and the 5th round. I expect him to only go up further from there as well. Any thoughts on that for you, Big T? You have any thoughts on Dobbins?
Yeah, I mean, I'll always like the running game for that team because they got a quarterback that can't throw. So, yeah, I'll like the running backs.
Absolutely. Simon, any thoughts on that for you?
I started to take Dobbins a little more often recently because some of the other players that I liked in that range were too expensive. And the timing was just bad for that announcement to come out about Dobbins because now Dobbins is going earlier. So I kind of lost my window to kind of draft him. So I do think that Dobbins is going to be having a decent year, and he's kind of one of those perfect 0 RB guys that you can draft in like the 5th, 6th round, and they end up, like Snyder's been saying all season that he believes he has that top 5 upside. I don't know if he has top 5 upside, but he has 1st round upside for sure, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Hopefully, at least. I've got well over the field. I think I've got around 70% of him so far, but just been scooping him up in every 5th and 6th round. But onto the Pats offense. They're looking pretty bad in camp. It doesn't surprise me as they've got a defensive coordinator trying to do the offense there. Any thoughts from you guys there for the Patriots offense? Big T first.
I mean, I think football is easier in some aspects than people want to give it credit. Like, why would their offense not be terrible? They don't have any good players. So, like, it's just simple to me. They should be bad. They have the worst skill players in all of football. So, like, and they're in the AFC on top of it. I mean, I think they're going to have a horrible year. So, not surprised even. I wouldn't take any Patriots. So, yeah.
Yeah, personally, I think this is going to be Bill Belichick's last year, even. I think he retires after this year and just kind of goes off in his own way. Any thoughts from you there, Simon?
At first, I was sprinkling in the Patriots because I liked Mac Jones' potential, and I think that there's going to be a much more competitive division this year. So I don't think that they're going to be able to kind of hide behind the run game as much. But yeah, the more I'm seeing the reports out of training camp, the worse that they're looking. Still sprinkling them in a little bit, but not nearly as much.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at the 49ers depth chart, who's that guy you have right there on your sheet there, Simon? TBP?
Oh, Davis Price, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, any thoughts on him from you, Simon?
Well, the news keeps kind of shifting out of 49ers on all the positions. It's kind of like it happened last year, where we were kind of being led to believe that Trey Sermon was going to have a huge breakout year, and then the season started and he was on the inactive list or whatever. Like, it seems like the same type of thing is happening this year with Davis Price, because he was getting hyped up for most of the offseason, and now they're saying that it looks like Trey Sermon is ahead of him on the depth chart. So I'm not quite sure what to think there. You know, like, it's like I have a feeling that the beat writers in the preseason for the 49ers aren't really on top of that information as much as they could be. But, you know, because the team is probably pretty elusive with what they're seeing in these practices and stuff. So I'm still drafting Davis Price when I can, but like, he's definitely sinking, it seems, in ADP. So it might be a even better opportunity to scoop him up if you want a piece of that 49ers backfield. But it looks like Elijah Mitchell has a firm grasp on it pretty much, and he's going in that 7th, 8th round. So he's kind of in that perfect position too for zero RB teams if you're building them. People are kind of scared off on Eli Mitchell for whatever reason this year. So yeah, I think he's a good guy to start accumulating if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely. I liked what I saw out of Elijah Mitchell last year. I'm a firm believer in him, and he got rid of Mozart this year. He's gone. Davis Price's ADP looks like it's right around 164 right now. Big T, you have any opinions on the 49ers backfield this year?
Yeah, I like Mitchell, but they've always been a multi-running back team, so I think you can take late. I have no idea what round these guys are going in, but you can take stabs late in drafts on any of those other guys. So I like Mitchell, though, a lot, too. If he stays healthy, he should crush in this backfield. Whoever runs is going to crush, so I think you could win a draft by taking those other guys later in the draft, and maybe by midseason, one of them starting, and you're going to have whoever's in there for the 49ers is a top 10 back. Like, if you guaranteed any of those guys a full season of RB1 work, they would for sure be top 10 without a doubt. So,
Jeff Wilson.
I think they're all worth stabs.
Jeff Wilson's another guy you can throw into that pot too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Jeff Wilson could crush. Like,
yeah.
He could get half the work even if Mitchell crushes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were on them there for a while. We always used to play Mozart early in the season until he got hurt. He had those huge games, but I think they're going to be even more dynamic with Trey Lance in there as well, because defenses are going to have to account for him. May leave some more running lanes open for the other guys, so definitely interested in that. We've got the Seattle camp. It looks like Drew Lock's kind of pulling ahead over Geno Smith there. I don't really have much conviction on this Seattle team. I'm kind of avoiding them. Simon, you have any thoughts on Seattle?
I'm avoiding them too. The only person, I'm interested in the running game. I like Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker. They seem like they've swapped places in ADP, with Penny now going in those mid-90s range and then Walker going in the 110 range. So I've been kind of flipping and drafting more Walker than Penny lately.
People are taking Penny over Walker?
Yeah, people are taking him over Walker right now. There was some reports out that like Penny was going to kind of he was dominating the starter role, and that Walker was fourth on the depth chart. But I mean, Walker's a freaking rookie, so of course he's fourth on the depth chart right now. But
he reminds me of Marshawn Lynch. I could see him being good there.
Yeah, I mean the beauty of that news coming out now is, like I said, it's flipped Walker so that you can get Walker, like in the mid-10th round or whatever now. So he's a lot easier to start accumulating. I've been drafting a decent amount of him lately. I'll probably end up with the same amount of him as I have of Penny from when Penny was going around that same range.
Yeah, I can get on board Walker for sure, though. I mean, me and Big T were on Walker last year in the CFB streets. I mean, he printed well for us at times, so definitely like his upside there. Any thoughts for you on the Seattle team, Big T?
They're another team in the NFC. I don't like them, but, I mean, they have some decent skill guys. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be stunned if they made a run. The NFC is wide open. Honestly, there's not that many teams in the NFC that I couldn't at least make a case for. It doesn't mean they're going to do it, but I could almost sell you on any team, I think, in the NFC. There's not – honestly, the teams I like the least are the ones projected to be the favorites. Like you said, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, just because I don't like them that much. So I'd rather just take some stabs on really any of the other teams, seriously.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get into another thing here before we get into the draft. Let's hit on the Treylon Burks news here. I mean, I don't really like listening to a lot of these beat writers. The way I generally like to see how they're phrasing their comments. If they're talking about just some of those beat writers are pretty bad at talent, projecting talent, I think. But if they're talking about X players getting more carries or this player's getting more of that, and I'll more so lean to that. But there's some beat writers not really talking good about Treylon Burks, who I think Treylon Burks is going to be a very big upside talent this year. Simon, you have any thoughts on Treylon Burks heading into the year?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the beauty of these Treylon Burks reports is that it sends his ADP lower, which gives us an opportunity to buy him at a cheaper price. So I'm loving when reports like that come out. Basically, the report that Snyder's referring to is he was like lining up in the wrong place and, like missing his routes and stuff like that. So basically, the beat reporters on Treylon Burks this year have done a great job for us in keeping him cheap. So it's kind of like what they were doing with Chase last year when they were saying that he couldn't catch any balls or whatever, and just like dropping his price towards the beginning of the season. So Treylon Burks just keeps getting cheaper and gives more opportunity to scoop up more shares of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Big T, we've got another guy that was great for us in the CFB street. So what's your thoughts on Treylon heading into the NFL?
I mean, I don't even know who does he play for? Tennessee,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like drafting receivers from running teams, but I have no idea where he's getting drafted. He's a talented dude. I mean, what is he about? I mean, he's got to be pretty deep down, right?
Yeah, let me see what his new ADP
like
is.
The 90s range, like between 80 and 90 somewhere.
Overall?
Yeah, 86 overall is where he's going right now as wide receiver 43.
Yeah, I'm out on him. I don't like taking receivers from running teams.
Yeah, definitely.
He is talented, though, for sure. He was a beast in college, absolutely.
Yeah, they kind of are hoping he can kind of take over the AJ Brown role that they have here. He kind of measures about the same measurables to him, but definitely be interesting to see how he Hands out. I mean,
going to recover from that choke job in the Cincinnati game is the better question.
That was a rough scene. Yeah, definitely. The Broncos running backs look to be like kind of on a pinch count. This is another report that I'm really not taking much into. I mean, they're going to say, I mean, it sounds like coach speak early in the season for me.
I don't know, man. They just kept going with those two dudes all of last year. I wouldn't be so sure they don't just keep – I mean, maybe they give Javonte slightly more work.
Yeah.
But I would be very cautious of thinking they're not going to just split it and put them both on some sort of limit.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that Dusty Gordon kind of gets run down and kind of misses some time
way lower
there.
than Devontae, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like a 10th rounder versus a 2nd rounder, but like there is
that big of a difference. So I like Melvin. Yeah. I like Mel then.
But the thing is like the coaching staff is completely overhauled, though. You know what I mean? Like so, like what happened last year?
It's just, I mean, how many teams are running one back though?
Yeah, no, that's
very true.
Absolutely true. Yeah.
I mean, I love Javonte, so you guys can sell me on him for sure. I mean, we played him all of last year, so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he can get like more of like a 65%, 65-35 is what I'm hoping
That's
for.
All you need, yeah.
I think he can pay off his price. Yeah.
Right. Like last year I was all over like Melvin Gordon, but like this year, like I'm definitely more on Javonte. Like I am drafting Melvin
Gordon. 2nd and 10th
now.
round's crazy to me though. I might actually be help on this show because I haven't heard anything, so some stuff could just sound crazy to me.
Right.
2nd and 10th seems crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, Melvin Gordon, like before earlier in this drafting season, 10th round was a place where you could scoop up guys like Chase Edmonds and Rashad Penny if you liked him and stuff. So Melvin Gordon wasn't real, and Ramondre Stevenson. So Melvin Gordon really wasn't as attractive as he is now because like all those dudes have moved up to like the 90s, 80s range. So Melvin Gordon's really the last man standing in that 110 range. So lately I've been taking more Melvin Gordon, but my intention going into the season was to fade him and focus more heavily on Javonte. But like the way that ADP is kind of shaken out, it makes more sense to grab Melvin Gordon right now than it did, like in the beginning.
I can't believe so Javonte is a 2nd round pick in fantasy this year.
Yeah, third turn, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling good about my team if he's my 2nd best guy.
I'm hoping that they kind of give Gordon a lot of the like first down work, like the first down, give him the carries at like the 30-yard line and such. Get Javonte in there when it matters the most. I'm kind of hoping for, but be interesting to see.
With all these good receivers up top, and man, I couldn't imagine Javonte being my 2nd dude.
Yeah, well, they I think Javante's getting the majority of the passing work too in that for the running backs in that offense. From what I understand,
that's what we want to see. Then, yeah,
it's the Green Bay staff, right? Isn't that where the dude's from?
Yep, Hackett.
Yep,
he's always run 2 running backs too. Like everyone wanted Aaron Jones getting all the work, and they still. I don't know. I like Melvin from what you guys are saying. 10th round compared to 2nd round. And we're not even talking about injury. Javonte could just get injured, and then you got Melvin. 10th round?
That could be huge.
Yeah, I like that. I got to bump him.
Another running back we have in the news here is Kareem Hunt. He's kind of holding in. He doesn't want to play. He wants a trade or he wants a new contract. Interesting. I think that could be a huge bump to the Ernest there. If they do somehow trade Hunt, I think it's going to be a huge spot for Dearness. I mean, we saw him have some big games there at times. I think it could be a bump to Chubb as well, but I don't think they're going to want to give all that weight on Chubb, even if they didn't have Hunt. I think they would still give Dearness quite a bit of a workload there. So it's interesting for the Browns camp there. Hunt's going decently early. I check his ADP here. Where's Hunt? 94th is where Hunt's going right now. He's down about 10 spots over the last week. So, Simon, do you have any thoughts here on this Browns running back situation?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it all offseason about how I don't think that Kareem Hunt and Dearness Johnson are both going to be on that team by the time the season starts. And Hunt kind of took a step towards that when he demanded a trade this past week, and I think was back in practicing today or yesterday, so I don't think that the holdout was very strong, but the fact that he demanded a trade already is a good sign for either him or D'Ernest, like not being on the team by the time the season starts. So we'll see how that shakes out, but I like Kareem Hunt at his current ADP, and it hasn't really moved since he demanded the trade either. Like I've drafted a few these past couple days, and I haven't really seen him kind of move from where he was in that like mid-90s ADP range. So not sure what you think there, Snyder, but I've been drafting D'Ernest all offseason in the 18th round, and I continue to do that because you're still able to get him there. And if Kareem Hunt gets traded, then D'Ernest is going to look like a steal in that 18th round.
I think it could be some pretty big upside if like Kareem Hunt gets traded to a team that actually needs a running back and you're getting him at that value. So I'm definitely in on some Kareem Hunt just off of the upside that could, if he gets traded or not. Big T, do you have any opinions on this Browns running back situation?
Yeah, I just won't be taking Kareem Hunt.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, even if he was in there, I wouldn't like him all that much. I don't know. Now that he's complaining about a trade, I'm out.
So you guys want to get in one of these drafts? You want to do a puppy or a best ball mania?
Let's do best ball mania.
Okay, we'll get Tony a chance to take down the $2 million here.
Yep, I'm gonna. Yep.
You gotta get the regular season win too. That's another $1 million.
Yeah.
If I won the best ball, I might retire from life.
Ready to jump in?
You got the screen up,
There's
Tony?
a $10 million prize pool?
Yeah.
Hey. What do I have to do to get in the same one?
Do you have the lobby pulled up?
Yeah.
We'll count to 3 and then you hit the enter button and
Looks
then
like it's like half full right now.
Did you click? Are you entering it?
The half full is for the whole tournament.
Oh, the overall?
Itself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Simon reads my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just hit enter. Well, what if we don't get in the same one?
Well,
let's go in 3. Let's go in. I'll count to 3 and we'll all jump in, all right? 3, 2, 1, hit enter.
5
I
more
got
to
5
start.
people.
Okay, we should be good.
So we do it, Tony.
This is the opportunity where we remind our viewers that if you use the promo code RUNPURE, you can get up to $100 match on your first deposit when you're opening an account with Underdog, and you get to take advantage of that free money. You can enter about 4 of these Best Ball Mania drafts, or you can enter 20 of those Puppy 3 drafts, and the Puppy 3 right now is $1 million prize pool. So if you win that thing, you win $200K or $250K. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge prize pool for a puppy.
Absolutely. And another thing is if you're watching this, head over. We've got a huge promo going. One of the best promos we've ever had. It's 15% off your life of your subscription. So you're going to get 15% off every month for the life of your subscription. Head over to Run Pure Sports and use the promo code NFL15. That's going to get you this will even include our SaberSim product, which is absolutely amazing. It's one of our best additions I think we have. It's just great where you can import, export all this stuff in there, set your exposures. Big T has his player pool in there all the time. We have core plays in there loaded up. So PGA is just ending. We've got MMA, we've got MLB. Everything's rounding into form here, and we've got some additions coming for the NFL season too. We've got some new tools, some new updates for the site, some new contributors as well coming. So head over to Run Pure Sports, use that promo code NFL15. That gets you all sports, all slates for one price. We're not going to upcharge you for any single sports here. It's all sports, one price. So head over and join the movement with us. So we're starting this draft here now. It looks like Simon's got the number 1 pick there.
I mean, some things never change. It's just that's how good he runs. Just right out of the guy. Who is the number 1 pick?
I like McCaffrey.
I'm going with McCaffrey. At first, I was going with Taylor, but just from a strategy standpoint, if you want to get overexposed on a guy, like in those first 3 picks, it's better to kind of choose the guy that's going number 2 as opposed to number 1.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at McCaffrey's point per game near anyone else, I mean, he's so much head and shoulders above everybody else on a points per game basis. So I'm definitely in on CMC. I'm not worried about his injury status. Yeah, he had some weird injuries, but none of them were like overall serious that I'm too worried about him this year. Big T, you have any thoughts on McCaffrey this year?
I mean, all the news looks good. He's in good shape. Yeah, I mean, I would take him over Taylor. I don't like Taylor, so I think third would be. Oh, who did that guy pick? Henry? What?
Whoa, that's weird.
I mean, this is good. This is good. Like when you draft late like this, you get some like weird picks in these.
I just don't. I was gonna say that I didn't want Taylor, so I was happy I was going third. I still don't want Taylor, so I'm doing this draft for fun. I'm still not gonna take him. I want. I don't even know how to draft Justin Jefferson. Hopefully,
there you go. Yep, you got him.
I almost got Taylor by default. Yeah, I didn't want Taylor. So did the next guy not pick Taylor either?
He hasn't picked yet. He's got.
He's on the clock right now.
A little bit of time. Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want Taylor. I want a receiver with my first pick.
Like it makes sense too because you can still get some decent running backs on that 2-3 turn. But it's difficult to get these elite wide receivers after the first round this year, and that's abnormal from the past where you were able to be in the back end of the first round and you'd be able to get one of these elite wide receivers like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or somebody, but you need to be really in the first top 5 picks of the draft in order to land one of those elite receivers this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I just took Stephon Diggs with my pick and the 8th overall pick. So I like Diggs. I like the Diggs-Allen combination again this year. Big T, I think a lot of people are wondering what's your thoughts on your boy, Carson Wentz this year. Is Carson Wentz going to win the MVP this year?
Oh, man. He went from a good spot. Now, what he's in Washington?
Yeah, I believe so.
Tough scene going to Washington. I can't imagine he's very good. So, yeah, I like if he couldn't get it done in Indy, his coach quit on him in Indy. Yeah,
it was a rough scene there for your boy.
I do like Matt Ryan back at that Indy spot, though. What do we get to? Not fantasy-wise because they're not going to throw, but I do like him as far as a quarterback.
I like the situation for Pittman there much better with Ryan there. I think Ryan's going to be able to give them the ball more on target this year, so I'm definitely on Pittman this year. Indy's
got a few sneaky weapons besides Pittman too. Like they got like Ashton Dulin, guy that we were taking in Showdown last year, and they got Paris Campbell, who's looking good in camp so far. So he's always one of those guys that gets hyped up in the preseason and then he ends up playing like 2 games and he's done for the fucking season. So I don't know what's up with Paris Campbell, but I do like Ashton Dulin based on those late season games that he played last year. He was catching some bombs from Wentz and he was being targeted for a lot of bombs.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the Kansas City Chiefs backfield has some interesting things going on. It looks like Ronald Jones might be on the bubble. That 7th round draft pick, Panchenko, is starting to stand out at camp. It looks like he could even make a push for RB2, some people are saying.
Panchico? What's a Panchico?
That's his last name, I think. Pachenko? Yeah. That's his Simon, you have any thoughts on him?
I don't know what to think about that backfield, but I feel like that Kansas City backfield is one of those ambiguous situations where if you take a stand on a guy and he ends up being the guy in that backfield, then it's going to pay off huge and potentially, win you some of your leagues.
I could definitely see drafting him like at the end, like 17th, 18th round, but I've seen a couple of people drafting him like in the 12th round and stuff. I'm not going to be that high on him. I think he's got some interesting upside.
I don't even know who you guys are talking about.
Yeah, some 7th round draft pick. Yeah,
7th round draft pick, Kansas City backfield.
I've never heard of him until earlier this week when he was started getting talked up by some. This is one of those cases of those beat writers. So who knows what if these guys are a good talent?
Donkey spelled his name wrong. That's why I couldn't. There's no N in there. This guy's got me all confused.
Paquito or P-A-C-H.
Nothing was coming up. Oh God, I'm up. I can't.
You're up,
Tony.
Big T.
You should know better than relying on our spelling for these run sheets, man.
Well, I didn't know who it was.
Javonte Williams is right there for you to take.
No, man, I
Boy, Tyreek.
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, dude, you got 5 seconds, Tony.
I know. I don't even know where the draft button is. Oh God!
You got Javonte.
Of course, I got Javonte.
You got your guy, though. At least you got your guy, Tony.
The only guy I talked out. I needed to figure out. I needed to pay attention before. I wasn't.
You can hit these stars on the left side of the players. That'll put them in your queue.
Oh, okay.
Man.
Javonte's gonna win the MVP this year. Now it's gonna happen.
The good thing is I do like him. I just hope he gets to work.
You're up again.
God,
Big
I'm
T.
back up again.
So one thing that I noticed, I just scooped up T. Higgins and who was the other guy? Mike Evans. Mike Evans is now going back to that 2-3 turn ever since Julio Jones signed with
Kyle Pitts.
Signed with Tampa. So I like taking Evans again in that late second round. I think
sure.
The Julio news obviously isn't good to get more target competition there, but I think it's being overblown. Is pushing Evans, like, who's still in like a perfect spot. You know, it's just.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even think Julio's going to play much throughout the regular season. I think they're kind of going to put him on a pitch count and kind of just try and preserve him towards the end of the season. Big T, you have any opinion on Julio Jones to Tampa Bay?
I mean, I think he's super dusty. Yeah,
I agree.
Are people taking him?
There's.
He's not going like early. He's going around 120 ADP, which I don't think he's a bad pickup there based on who's all around him.
Yeah,
like when you get that late in the draft. But yeah, I mean Julio. I think he's got.
He's up about 60 spots since being added to the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, before the Bucs, he was like totally dead.
Yeah.
Like, no, if it wasn't like Brady or a top quarterback, people would not have been buying like this.
Yeah, I think he landed in the perfect spot. Like, you could, if you were drafting Julio in the 18th round all offseason, you couldn't have asked for a better landing spot for him, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, literally outside of the really top quarterbacks. I mean, like, if he went to, like, Kansas City, Chargers, I mean, any of those tops.
Yeah, Julio, I expect him. I think his like median stat line this year is going to be like 3 to 5 catches for like 60 to 100 yards.
You like Julio? You're buying him?
I don't. I'm not gonna draft him
those
where he's
are
going.
Decent
or
numbers.
Maybe on DraftKings if they got him priced in the 4Ks and they be tempted to get him. I got sniped on both my quarterbacks. These fucking idiots. They aren't even stacking their guys.
All the quarterbacks go in this round?
Yeah, I'm getting tilted there.
I was going to say, I think with Julio, though, you just need him to where he's going in the 10th round, 10th, 11th round, you really only need him to get you like 4 or 5 good spike weeks for him to kind of pay off that value, which I think he's definitely capable of. He's capable of putting up, like 4 or 5 weeks where he ends up in your starting lineup.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you allowed to set? I'm sure you can set your rankings on here, right?
Yes.
You do these?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that my thing's not just by ADP like this.
Yeah.
You can import your own. Act. I gotta rank them before I do these.
Right now, you can't really do it. Like, well, you can jump out of your draft and go to rankings and then set them, and it updates real time for you. But if you wanted to set rankings right now, just dump them into your queue, and kind of
just
shuffle them around the way that you want. Like if you want to do a quick.
I love ATN.
I almost took him. I went
I'm actually
Darren
glad
Waller
I
instead.
didn't think he was going to make it to me. I like.
I almost took him.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with him, but
Yeah, he's been going in the third round for the past few weeks. So like right now with the James Robinson news coming out that Robinson is looking pretty decent in practice and stuff. So ETN has been falling further into that fourth round now. So he's actually starting to become a pretty good deal again.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, he's
I
got
like our
great
boy
pass
Breeze,
game
too.
upside.
Did someone take? Oh, the dude right in front of me.
Yeah, right in front of you. I got him. I think he's going to be a solid play there. I still like some Michael Carter. I think he's got some upside in the pass game work still. Simon just took Mahomes. You got a stack there with Juju.
You got Juju?
Yeah, I've been grabbing a decent amount of Mahomes recently just because he's going in the fifth round. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like that's an ambiguous situation that I want to take advantage of to try to get as many Chiefs stacks as I can. And taking him at the top of the fifth. Generally, I've been taking him mid to late fifth round, but to get a Patrick Mahomes stack along with a combination with like Christian McCaffrey, I kind of like that and trying that out a few times.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping to get my guy Dobbins here in a few picks if no one takes him. I've got the start to my draft was Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Mike Williams, and Darren Waller. I was trying to get Josh Allen and Herbert to stack with those guys, but they got taken right before me both times. But I like the start I'm at. It looks like Dobbins should make it to me unless this guy takes him in front of me.
How many people do you pick at each?
Oh, that freaking dude just sniped. I knew he was going to take him after I said that. So I'm going to just go like RB0 this draft looking like I could go with – I'm going to go with Elijah Mitchell, actually. I think he's got the upside. I'm going
I almost
grab
took
one
him with
running
my
back there.
pick just because
Yeah.
I liked him.
I definitely like him, yeah.
Tony, I do like your start with taking Pitts in the third round there. Pitts seems like he's going to be probably the leading tight end, I'd say, this season, and taking him anywhere in the third round, I think, is a pretty good move.
Yeah, I like that. Big T, do you have any thoughts on Drake London there at Atlanta? I think he's going to be the top wide receiver this year. I loved what I saw from him in USC. He was another guy in the CFB streets just printing money for us last year. Any thoughts on London?
Yeah, he was a beast, and I like him again. I know I talked about the NFC a few times, but even a team like Atlanta, they have young guys at some spots. You just don't – I think a weird team's going to win the NFC, and I wouldn't be stunned if it was Atlanta. I like their guy. London was a beast. Pitts is a beast. I mean, they have guys, so I wouldn't be stunned at all. They have a big year.
Absolutely. I'm right on pace there with you. Looking at some other news here, Tim Patrick tore his ACL not too long ago. I think that kind of helps steady out where the targets are going to go in Denver. I was kind of worried with all the receivers there, so that kind of thins it down a little bit, like Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and now KJ Hamler. KJ Hamler is the biggest mover ADP-wise since the injury there. He's going up to 150 now. He was like in the late 180s to 190s there for a while. Any thoughts on the Denver backfield there, Simon?
I think that with Patrick going out the way that he did, he was projected to be a pretty significant weapon in that offense this year. He was going to be the slot guy. So I think him going out is a bump to obviously Jeudy and Sutton. But I've heard a lot of analysts talking about how it could be shifting to an offense with a bunch of, two tight end sets. So I think Albert O and Dolchik, or whatever his name is, I think those guys could definitely be in an advantage after that injury. Could get significant bumps. I haven't really seen them shift around in ADP either, so that's interesting. But I do think that Cortland Sutton is probably my favorite guy in that offense. But Jerry Jeudy, I was kind of avoiding before the Tim Patrick news, but now like he's a lot more attractive than he was before.
Yeah, definitely. Big T just goes with Trey Lance there. Definitely like the upside with that pick.
That's why you guys get addicted to these. My team's terrible. These rankings got me jacked up though, because like some of my guys are way below my rankings, and I can't find them, and my clock's running out. I'm a rookie. This is what rookies do. Like I got to get my rankings on there. I'm
get you some receivers coming up here too.
I was going to take one, and I hate every receiver on the top of my board. So
we get into this. This is kind of like the dead zone range for me. I don't like any of these receivers, and I find myself scrolling down.
I forgot to write down. So what positions do we have to play? Oh, I'm almost up again. Never mind.
Okay, so you got 3 receivers. You got 2 running backs.
Oh God, I only get 2 running backs. I already drafted 3.
And you get a flex though. You can play 3.
Oh, I can play 3. Okay.
Tony's doing what we would call the robust RB build right now, with taking 4. He's got 3 running backs in the top 5 rounds. All good running backs. He's got Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, and Cam Akers. Nice value.
I have
there
3
on
good
Travis
ones. Should
Etienne.
I just not draft anymore?
No, yeah. Don't hold off on drafting another running back until you get into the mid, like.
Well, I know,
14th,
yeah. I
15th
mean,
round.
I know at the end, but like, should I take one even at the end?
Yeah. I would take one more.
It's not crazy to just roll with 3 running backs.
I mean, you could for sure. Like, what are their bye weeks of the guys that you have?
They're all different bye weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, you could if you totally avoid the injury bug.
Yeah, because I mean,
but you're trying to run perfect anyways to win. Win the whole
for
thing,
sure.
So.
I mean, you're trying to win $2 million.
If I lose, if one of these running backs loses, I'm probably gonna. I'm not gonna.
The common build is going to have 4 to 6 running backs.
Yeah, tell me the common. So 2 quarterbacks is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, generally you want 2 quarterbacks.
This will be good for people watching too, because I'm sure there's some rookies out there like me. 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends.
Yeah, the common build is going to be 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 2 tight ends, and then probably Snyder, about like 8 or 9 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Is that what's left?
How many rounds is it?
16? 18 rounds.
18 rounds.
The way your build's setting up now, Tony, if you don't pick any more running backs, I would go for some big up. I would go for like 7 or 8 like upside wide receivers now, because you're kind of thin at wide receivers, so you need some of those big upside plays from your guys.
A lot of people are afraid of taking 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends too. Like, so I don't hate taking 3 tight ends, just because tight end is such a volatile position, and you don't know who the hell is gonna break out. You could grab 3 guys in the 15th through 18th round for tight ends, and 2 of those guys could end up having big seasons, end up beating a guy that other people were drafting in the top 10 rounds. So there's a lot of good tight ends that are going late this year. Austin Hooper is a guy that I really like. I like guys like David Njoku, who's going in like the 15th round. There's a lot of those types of dudes that are going super late in these drafts that are easy to pick up if you miss one of those top 10 tight end types.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm up here next. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to take who I want again this time. I'm trying to get Tony Pollard here with my next pick to be my second running back. He'll be there. He took Chris Olave, so I'm going to take Pollard in the upside. I think Zeke might be dust. I realize JSURab wants him out there every play, but I think Pollard might just overtake him this year. Any thoughts from you on that, Big T? Do you have any thoughts on this Dallas backfield?
The same as everyone probably, that Pollard's way better, should get way more work. But like the Denver situation, I just wouldn't count on it until you see it. But I do think Pollard is definitely higher upside for sure.
Yeah, I like taking him there in the 8th round if he's still there. I think he's got some pretty big upside.
MVS dropping every ball again this year?
It's quite possible.
God,
This
these
is
receivers are so
yeah. I
bad.
mean, I think Treylon Burks probably has most upside, the home run threat, where he could have some spike weeks, but he's in that offense that you don't really like.
Oh God, I didn't even mean to pick him.
You got old Bobby Woods.
No, I tried to pick Garrett Wilson. I don't know how. I'm a rookie.
Now,
man.
Tony, what was the Kirk Cousins? I noticed you picked him pretty early. What was did you have?
Because I got
was that
Jefferson.
intentional?
I was trying to
I got
maybe
you.
get those guys hot. And I was looking at a few Minnesota angles where I like Minnesota a little bit this year.
Yeah,
I think that passing game could catch
Minnesota
fire.
is that one of those teams that we were talking about earlier, which could. I like I like Ramondre better than Damian Harris, but I think Damian Harris is still going to be the starter here.
You shouldn't pick running backs. I'm going to give advice to the two experts. Shouldn't pick running backs on just terrible teams. Like, you guys don't think New England's going to just suck?
I think that they're going to suck, but I think that they're going to try to run as much as they can. Like,
Well, I'm going to
they've
try
always
to not
had
eat McDonald's this month. It doesn't mean I'm not going to eat a little McDonald's.
Yeah,
You're up, Big T. You got 24
All right.
seconds.
God,
Yeah.
dang it.
but
On these
I'm
picks,
with,
I'm going to move.
I'm
Is
with
Russell
Tony.
Gage getting work?
I like some Russell Gage.
Yeah, I like Russell Gage, and he's been dropping in ADP ever since the
Yeah?
Julio trade too. Yeah,
I like him this week. I think he's going to play quite a bit.
He's a deal at pick 100 or wherever you're grabbing him.
He's one of those guys I think that'll just mesh well with how Brady plays the game and how he plays.
He's the perfect Tom Brady receiver. He's landed in another. He's another guy that landed in a perfect spot. Him and Julio both landed in great situations.
I don't even know who did I pick with my other pick.
You got Bobby Woods.
Oh, Robert Woods.
Bobby Trees.
Is he hurt still?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's looked all right in practice. Like, the word is though that they picked him up because he's a good blocker, and obviously with that running game, they want to have as many good blockers as they can. Like Treylon Burks, another like receiver who's really, really big. They're probably trying to get him to refine his blocking skills too. So, yeah.
I finally got my quarterback to I got a double stack here with Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. I got Big T's favorite wide receiver and Hunter Renfrow a couple rounds ago.
Like, this year, I freaking love him because I just never thought he was a number one. You get a guy like Devontae with him, and man, I think he's going to crush. I actually really like the Raiders this year. As long as they don't just stick with that running game too much, though. If they air it out, I think they're going to be really, really good.
Yeah,
I'm definitely overweight on
they're souring on their running back from what I was looking at.
Right. Like, and
that could be a good thing.
That's a good point because, like they didn't sign Jacobs to his 5th-year option, and there was talk about trading him not too long ago. Like, he got a little bit of good praise from the coach like these last couple days, but when they were talking about even considering trading him like the past couple weeks or whatever, I mean, that's not a good sign for the running game.
Yeah, I'm up here in a little bit. I've got that Carr, Renfrow, Waller double stack with Drake London, Mike Williams, Debo, and Diggs. So really happy with how my wide receivers have turned out. I've got Elijah Mitchell and Tony Pollard as my running backs. So interesting there. Hopefully we can pick up some guys here. I'm going to try and I was hoping to get James Cook here, and he fell to me. So I'm going to go with James Cook there. I really like his upside out of the backfield this year.
Yeah, I think.
Any thoughts on him?
Yeah,
I
like him a lot. He was a beast last year, beast in the championship game. He's just a stud and perfect spot for him too, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He played in basically the minor leagues of the NFL there in the SEC and just crushed against the big boy talents there. Simon, you're pretty high on Cook this year, aren't you, as well?
Yeah. And
nice.
I like that Buffalo picked him up after trying to get what's his face, J.D. McKissick, and failing to get J.D. McKissick. They went straight to get Cook. So obviously they had a desire to get one of those receiving backs in that backfield. They weren't happy with Zach Moss and the way that he'd been playing apparently. So yeah, no, it's a good spot for Cook to land.
Absolutely. Big T finally got his guy Garrett Wilson there.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see it.
I do like
he,
it.
he was another guy in the CFB streets for us last year.
I'm getting Ken Walker at 120, which is a pretty big steal right there.
Oh, yeah.
I also like Kenny Galladay a lot. This is a situation with Melvin Gordon, though, where you got to take the value, I think, with getting him at 120 there. Now I have 4 running backs that I'm pretty happy with. I'm probably gonna stop right there. I got McCaffrey, Damian Harris, Ken Walker, and Melvin Gordon. So I'll probably just stop on running backs at that point and just focus on my other positions at this point.
Yeah, I like that for sure. We got Big T coming up on the clock again.
You said Hardman's been looking pretty good?
Yeah. Hardman seems to have
like
a
his
good
upside
connection with Mahomes right now, according to practice reports.
He's that guy I think that could take on that Tyreek role there. He's got some fast wheels himself there. There goes Julio Jones right there.
The beauty of Hardman too is he's the guy that people are least focused on. So people building those Mahomes stacks like me, like they're focused on trying to get MVS or Sky Moore and Juju and Kelsey or whatever. People kind of forget about McCole Hardman. He's kind of going in that odd, like mid 120s range where you don't really think about him as much.
Yeah, I'm up here next. I'm kind of looking at I got Alexander Madison there. I mean, my running backs aren't great, and if Dalvin Cook went down, I think Madison could just absolutely smash and be one of those league winners that I need. So I got a pretty strong receiver core, so I'm going to go with Madison there as my 4th running back. Kind of in a pickle here with my running backs. I just noticed 2 of them have 9 bye weeks and 2 of them have 7 bye weeks, so that'll be interesting going forward. I'll probably have to take another one now. I'll have to take 5 running backs, which is fine, I think.
Irv Smith just went at pick 127. It looks like Irv Smith actually just broke his finger, so he's basically going to miss all of the rest of the preseason.
Oh, yeah. There was some other news. Like the Bears, I hate the Bears this year, but I think Darnell Mooney is just going to see all the targets he can handle with N'Keal Harry and Pringle both getting hurt now. But the Bears suck. I don't have any conviction on that team at all this year. Big T, you have any conviction on the Bears and Darnell Mooney this year?
I mean, they got a new coach too, right?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah.
Like those are the teams I think you can take some better stabs at too. And like Fields, I mean, in theory, should be a really good option this year. You can pair them up. I'm okay. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm taking the easy way out about the NFC, but I really think that's what's fun about some of these drafts. Like you can probably stack a lot of these situations in cheaper spots for sure. Like the Bears, you could easily get a full Bears stack, and yeah, they'll probably suck, but they do have upside guys in key spots that I don't know. I think you can gamble a little bit there.
Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That same mentality. I like. I'm with you on the Vikings, Tony, as far as being in the NFC perfect spot for them to be, obviously. And they finally got rid of their dusty coach. They got a new young coaching staff in there who's going to be more pass friendly. So yeah, the Vikings are looking really tasty as far as a fantasy perspective this year.
They're another team, if they ever just realize they can just throw the ball, that I know Cook's great and you should get him a little work, but man, it's a passing league and you got the best receiver. Like, air that puppy out.
Yep.
You're coming up here soon, Big T. You could get a KJ Osborne there if you want to double stack with
is he
Kurt.
The third receiver there?
I think he might be the number 2. I mean, it's going to be him or Thielen, but I think
he might outdo Thielen.
I think he might.
I think he will eventually. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he will.
Then. Hopefully, I get him.
I think it's going to be. He's the second guy, so I think he should fall to you.
I think Thielen was showing signs of the wheels falling off last year, getting hurt for a big part of the season, and then just he was still scoring touchdowns, but I think that he's probably at that stage of his career where he's just going to fall off a cliff at some point.
That could be a really good pick then if you guys think Osborne is second.
Yeah, I like that double stack he got.
Fields has been falling like super, super late too. I just got him at pick 144. His ADP is 126. I've noticed that a lot in drafts lately, that he's kind of been going in that range. I'm going to draft him. I'm going to take Hunter Henry too. I like Hunter Henry. I know he's on that shitty offense, but him and Mac Jones had a good connection last year, and I think that while the Patriots definitely look like they're not getting their shit together right now, I do think that Hunter Henry and the running game are not going to be horrible once the season gets underway.
For sure. Big T's up right now. About 20 seconds left on your clock.
I love Pickens.
I like George Pickens.
Yeah. Snyder and I have been talking up Pickens for most of this offseason too. He's in a good spot.
I played him all last year, and he was never like he was the injured spot towards the end of the year in college.
Yeah.
We always knew his upside, and they just wouldn't give him the run.
I think
he's.
Yeah, with Claypool seemed to fall out with the coaches last year in that offense, and he was looking pretty bad last year. So yeah, Pickens can come in there and kind of carve out a good role for himself in that offense, I think.
Yeah, he's got that big body. I think he's fully recovered from that ACL too. I just took Pat Freiermuth as my last pick. I think Pickens and Freiermuth are going to be two of the bigger targets that those less than ideal quarterbacks will be looking at this year.
Deontay Johnson just came out with some sort of a hip injury too. I don't know how long-term effect it is, but I think it was like a hip flexor or something like that. But you never want to hear that shit like in the preseason.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Romeo Doubs here. I don't have much of him, but he's one of those guys that's been rising up the draft boards. He's been getting praised by Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb. He's been owning Eric Stokes on one-on-ones. He's made some pretty big catches. Adjusted really well to an underthrown ball by Jordan Love the other day. I actually like Romeo Doubs quite a bit more than Christian Watson, who they spent a lot more draft capital on. But It looks like Doubs is going to be taking the step forward.
Yeah, Doubs is a guy that, like you said, Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers is giving you praise as a wide receiver, you want to kind of take note. And he's been praising him. He's been praising Allen Lazard. And I think Allen Lazard's going to have a decent year too. But Doubs, I've been trying to get a lot of exposure to Doubs because he's still going relatively cheap. And if he ends up having a decent role in the Aaron Rodgers-led offense, then it'll be a good deal on where he's going. He can probably show up in your lineup.
Yeah, he's over the last week, his draft has went up about 40 spots, but I think it's still a good price there at 150, 155. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're in the round. When you're in the rounds 14 and beyond, it really doesn't matter. If you're taking a guy 3 rounds early or whatever, it's just you're at the point where you're just taking crapshoots on just about anybody in that range.
Yeah, we're just trying to find maybe 1 to 3 spike weeks where these guys can crack the optimal for us. Big T doesn't like the Packers, but do you remember Romeo Doubs? I believe he was from BYU last year.
I've just seen him trending on the Twitter. Everyone's
for sure,
about.
Definitely.
What about my boy Taysom?
Taysom's a tight end this year. You can draft him as a tight end.
That's what he's one of the I need a second tight end, and he's one of the highest right now.
I've been trying to draft Taysom as a tight end 3 in a lot of these drafts, just because he's he's not going to really have a week to week necessarily like impact, but he's going to have like 3 or 4 of those.
What if he becomes the quarterback again?
Yeah,
somehow?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to have 3 or 4 of those monster weeks that he likes to put together. So yeah, I like Taysom.
You'd get an extra for a format like this though. Like say he somehow became quarterback, wouldn't you just have an enormous edge?
Yeah. He's a huge, huge upside with him for sure.
There you go. Big T takes his boy.
Got to get my boy. That's my second tight end.
Absolutely. Simon's up here with a couple picks. Big T's got a pretty good, tasty team shaping up there. May want to go for a 4th running back here if you want.
Yeah, let's see who's on here.
Yeah, you're up here in a
Davis
couple picks.
Price. Oh man, Mostert. What's Mostert? The second string in Miami?
Yeah, he's going to be right there with Chase Edmonds. I think Mostert, you could see another 3 to 4 spike weeks from him this year.
What about Pachenko, or whatever you guys were talking about?
Oh, that's
the misspelled word.
I mean, that's a complete dart throw, I think, right now. He could be cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if he's going to make the team, to be honest.
I don't think he's going to get cut. Okay, so let me just draft here real quick. The from my understanding of his situation. Now, Tony, you remember last year, towards the end of the season, I told you that this beat writer had written about Jerick McKinnon. How he had an indication that he was going to be the starting running back, and I had that information, and I didn't end up using it.
Yeah,
and then McKinnon ended up going off. Yeah, well, the same guy that wrote that tweet last season, this beat reporter, was writing that he believes that the running backs that are going to make it through are going to be Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, and Pachenko. So he thinks that Pachenko is potentially going to beat out Ronald Jones. So there was a report today that was saying that the Chiefs might even take 4 running backs on the starting or not the starting roster, but on the final roster. So there's a potential that Pachenko and Ronald Jones make it, but it's looking that Ronald Jones might not even make the final cut on this roster.
He's always been so bad.
Yeah. Ronald Jones is always and he's a guy that last year he was getting hyped up over Leonard Fournette, and we were pointing people towards Leonard Fournette because Ronald Jones, he's one of those guys that the fantasy analysts latch onto, and they get in their take locks, and year after year after year they're trying to push people towards drafting these same guys. But it's just if you kind of go into able to kind of pick those guys out and go in a different direction, then you can definitely find a good hidden guy that you can latch onto.
Another guy that I'm kind of down on this year is Gibson from Washington. I think he's going to get overtaken. They kept McKissick there. They want to play him in the pass down work, and they spent a lot of draft capital on Brian Robinson out of Alabama. So Gibson's a kind of a guy I've been avoiding this year. You have any takes on the Washington backfield, Big T?
No, I'm just not going to take running backs from shitty teams. I'm not updated on all the news. I like the best ball / season long format, and that's just everyone makes fun of my rules in baseball, but football, I'm just not going to take running backs from shitty teams. I would rather take a chance we talked about. Who are we talking about? San Fran, where you could take 3rd and 4th guys, because they could end up top 10 to me. These shitty team running backs, I hate it. It feels like they never crush. I don't know. That's one of the things I just don't do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that opinion, especially when we get into the DFS days. If you can just eliminate those shitty running backs, it makes it easier building going forward.
No doubt.
I'm up here. I'm going to try and get some more receivers. I've only got 6
take your boy Gus the Boss. He's going to carry for your squad.
Oh, no. Gus isn't even going to be – I bet Gus isn't even ready by week 4. It's going to be the J.K. Dobbins show.
Well, what do you think of Batty, Snyder? Because Batty is the rookie running back that they drafted this year, and he's kind of been getting a little bit of steam, but he's, I guess, the RB3 on the team. I don't know if there's anyone ahead of him on the depth chart, but what are his chances of kind of taking over on a number 2 role in that offense?
I think he'll be on special teams and stuff. I mean, he's from the University of Missouri. He has some spike weeks for us last year in the CFB streets, but I definitely I think Dobbins is a supreme talent to him. But I could see a Batty mixing in on some third downs and such. I don't think I'm going to have much interest in him in like best balls or nothing now. Big T just went with OBJ. I think he's going to find a home here sometime soon.
I've seen some rumors of Buffalo. If he goes to Buffalo, I'll take a chance on him this late.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like anyone else either. So
he's one of those guys this late that you're just looking for a home run there towards the end of the year.
Yeah. We're talking about Green Bay with OBJ too. So he's
any of those spots are cushy, right?
Yeah.
Like when he can pick his quarterback, basically.
Right.
I mean, that is some cushy landing spots, especially at this point in the draft. I mean, I don't know. You should be drafting for upside in these formats. And yeah, could he get me 0 like all season? Sure. But his upside could win you a lot of things.
I'm going to draft Jerick McKinnon here just to kind of go with my Mahomes stack. I was going to
And you just sold us. They were keeping the 3 and he's number 2. You better get in there on that.
Yeah. Like, and I was looking at the I don't like the receivers that are kind of falling to these 18. Is all the good receivers that we were taking in the 18th round, 17th round earlier?
What's the deal with this Prochet? Is he going to play for Baltimore?
Prochet is looking like the number 2 over Duvernay, but Snyder would probably have a better inside track on or.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any trust in any of those gadget receivers they always draft. It pisses me off every time they draft one of those little gadget receivers instead
Why
of
would they draft
going
a
after
good receiver when he can't throw?
He can. I think he led the NFL in passing touchdowns when he won the MVP, so he can definitely get her there.
Mm-hmm.
But,
got all kinds of bad receivers. Look at them all. Man, my team sucks.
Somebody's got to pay the rake, I guess.
Oh, and I just realized Taysom's got the same bye week as Pitts. No.
Oh, no.
Rough season.
Is that a playoff week, too?
Oh,
How is
no.
the playoffs not week 14? When does it start?
Playoffs start week 15.
I think.
Yeah, 15, 16, and 17. And so the big thing that's getting hyped this year with these drafts is having correlation in your week 17, Tony. So one thing that you might want to do before your next draft is kind of have the week 17 schedule so you know which teams are playing which in case you want to get a little week 17 correlation in your lineups.
Big T, you have any conviction on Davis Mills in the Houston passing game this year? I think the Houston passing game, I have quite a bit of them in these best balls. I think Davis Mills is better than people think. He had some big games last year. Played better towards the end of the year.
Yeah, he impressed me last year. It's a stack.
I mean, you got
anytime you can get a stack. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you can get like a Nico Collins and a Brandon Cooks was kind of where I was going. I was trying to get some Minchie before he got cancer, so he's out for the year. So that's a rough scene for him. Hopefully he gets better.
Cancer, you just said.
He did.
Oh, jeez.
Definitely feel for him, man. Like the Texans, like I think the AFC South in general is up in the air. Like I think that a team like Jacksonville could take that division because I think it's potential that the Colts are overrated. It's Titans, they kind of got lucky with their first place win last year, but then they lost A.J. Brown, so their team is kind of falling apart a little bit. Then you got like Houston and Jacksonville. Jacksonville's kind of on the rise. They got a decent coaching staff. They still got that shitty GM who made all those bad wide receiver acquisitions over the offseason, but they strengthened the wide receiver core whether you like the moves or not. And having Justin, what's his face? Trevor Lawrence in that offense, leading that offense. He was one of the top quarterback prospects in a long time, and he's still there, and he's got better coaching this year. So if he's able to find his way this year, and he has all those extra weapons, I think that Jacksonville has the potential to actually take that division.
Big T, gonna get another tight end here.
Yeah.
This Daniel Bellinger guy is taking first team reps for the Giants. I'm not sure if he's worth a shit, but
I might take this Trey McBride. He was a beast.
Oh yeah, I like him.
I was looking at Bellinger too, but I don't know. Trey McBride was a beast. I kind of like that landing spot a little bit for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think he can complement what's his name pretty well. Who the heck? Ertz there. I think he can compliment him pretty well.
Ertz could keel over at any point too.
Definitely. So that ends the best ball draft for us. I'll go through my team first, and then we can hit on the other teams. So I ended up going with Derek Carr, and I paired him up with Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller for a little double stack there. I've got Daniel Jones that I took late in the draft. My running backs are Elijah Mitchell, Tony Pollard, James Cook, Alexander Madison, Michael Carter, and then I took Dearness Johnson with my last pick of the draft. Receivers, I'm pretty happy with the receivers here. I think they're pretty strong. Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Mike Williams, Drake London, Hunter Renfrow, Romeo Dubes, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Kendrick Bourne, and then I've got Pat Freiermuth for a backup tight end there. Simon, you can hit your team if you want next.
Yeah, so I drafted out of the one spot, ended up with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Fields as my quarterbacks. I stacked Mahomes with Jerick McKinnon, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I ran Justin Fields out naked. I wasn't able to really pick up anybody. I kind of grabbed Justin Fields unexpectedly. I got him at pick 144. His ADP is 126. So I wasn't really kind of planning a stack there. Running backs, I ended up with Christian McCaffrey, Damian Harris, Ken Walker, Melvin Gordon, Jerick McKinnon. I like the value that I got on a lot of those running backs there. Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Juju, DeAndre Hopkins, Kadarius Toney, MVS, Paris Campbell, Zay Jones, and Ashton Dulin are my wide receivers. I'm really happy with my wide receivers in this one. And then for tight ends, I ended up with Hunter Henry and Noah Fant. And the beauty of this year is, like, you can punt the tight end position, and you're still getting guys that were going in the top 10 rounds in previous years like that. So you never know when a guy like Hunter Henry or Noah Fant will have a breakout year. Good thing with Fant is he ends up with his quarterback too. So he got traded along with Drew Lock, and it looks like Lock could end up winning that quarterback competition in Seattle, and if he does, I think that's a plus for Noah Fant. So yeah, definitely good to take stabs on him when the opportunities arise, but don't go too crazy with it.
Yeah, for sure. Big T, do you have your team up, or do you want me to go through it? I've got it up here too.
Yeah, I somehow shut it down. I was trying to figure out how to get it. You can say it if you want.
Yeah, I can go
through it. You can analyze it for me. Tell me how bad it is.
Trey Lance, I definitely like the upside you got there with Lance. It's a good right around his ADP, so I definitely like the pick there. And then you've got the double stack there with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson with KJ Osborne. Definitely like the upside of that stack. I think we've seen Kirk Cousins do well anytime he's not in prime time, at least. So I definitely like that. You got the guy you were talking bad about pre-draft. You go and take your boy Javonte Williams, who I hope he gets like 65% of the carries. I think he's got some big upside if he does. Travis Etienne, huge upside out of the backfield. He's got that chemistry, there with Trevor Lawrence from college. Cam Akers, a huge bounce back year for him possible here. He looked good last year coming off that Achilles, and now he's got even more recovery going into this year. And then Raheem Mostert for your fourth running back. Good upside there. A couple of your other receivers, you got Bobby Woods, Russell Gage, Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson's upside this year. Russell Gage is going to fit in really well there. Mecole Hardman take over the Tyreek Hill role there. Osborne, like I said, George Pickens. I think he's going to be one of the upside big play rookies coming out. Odell Beckham. Yeah, like that. Odell Beckham's definitely could find some good landing areas. Like if he ends up in Buffalo, I think that's a great spot for him. He could absolutely smash for you down the stretch when you need to make a run towards the playoffs. And then you got James Proche for Baltimore, shifty gadget guy for the Ravens. Kyle Pitts, you got a top three tight end there, so definitely like that. And then you got your boy Taysom and then Trey McBride at the end. So definitely like your team. I think you got some upside team. I mean, some of the teams that make it through are some interesting builds like that. So I definitely like it. Are you happy with your team there, Big T?
I mean, I like getting a correlation. I don't totally hate it. I just would rather take receivers early for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate my running backs, and I use my early picks on my running backs. So that's a bad combination. But as far as I like the receivers I was able to get later. I don't know. I would prefer to draft receivers early, though, for me to like my team.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of how I went with this draft. If I'm not getting like McCaffrey or something or one of those stud guys early, I'm usually kind of trying to wait. I've actually got quite a bit of Swift kind of in that 2-3 round in ranging. But
does anybody draft these things just super weird and just go straight for a team? Like even if it's like I don't know, Cincinnati or something where they just want them early and they just go get all their guys early.
Yeah,
you see some wild things happen.
Yeah. Not
one draft. I think me and Simon were on that one draft. Some dude took like 4 quarterbacks right away or something. I mean, he's just completely
in my head,
dead.
I always feel like something weirder like that will win it. And if everyone just follows the ADP and stacks and looks at the weeks, then you're going to end up in a similar spot. So I don't hate just pick a weird team like Atlanta. Just say go into the draft. Say you want Atlanta and whoever. Who was the other team we said had some upside? Like a Detroit or something where take 2 teams and just be like, I'm just going to get everybody from those 2 teams and just go with it.
See, I don't hate doing that. I just don't think you don't need to draft a guy 5 rounds in advance. Just draft him 2 rounds
a couple rounds ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to do that, there's nothing wrong with that strategy. I would almost not encourage it, but I think there's nothing wrong with that strategy, but just make sure that you're not going overboard in how
you could plan it out even almost rank your 2 teams from top to bottom and where they should get picked and just make sure you're drafting them in order all the way down the list, almost like you're forming a whole team.
Right. Yep. No,
I think that's huge, especially once you get into these playoff rounds. I mean, a lot of the teams are going to be kind of built the same, but if you got a more of a contrarian team there, that can have a huge advantage there in the playoffs. Definitely that. Simon, you have anything else to add?
I was going to say, especially if you're able to pick out those late round guys that end up going off, like George Pickens, guys like that. Dubs, if you end up a lot of guys like that on a team where you've kind of reached a little bit in the beginning, maybe that kind of makes up for it and gives you a combination that can take you far into this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's pretty much going to cover us for us this week. We'll be back next week. I think maybe we'll have JSU on with us next week, or someone will get another guest for us as we near closer to the NFL season. I believe we're 30 days away from the first Sunday. So we're slowly getting there. In a few weeks, we'll be right there. We'll be here before we know it. But hit the like and subscribe on your way out. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this with us. So for Simon, for Big T, I'm Snyder. Thanks a lot. And Run Pier, we're out.